What up, team? It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I was kind of thinking today I wanted to talk about kind of being nostalgic or nostalgia in general. And the reason for this is I've been thinking a lot recently about how things used to be and what they're like now. So, for example, I've noticed that I'm suddenly getting a lot more emails, and I remember when the business used to get, probably 5 in a week, if that, and I was kind of like, this is cool. I don't have as many emails as I used to have in my old job. I could get used to this. And now I seem to spend a lot of time, like I literally, I think a couple of days ago, spent an entire morning just emailing back people and things like that. And then today I was driving through a part of the city, and I noticed that everyone's wandering around in suits, and I was like, oh, I remember wandering around in suits when I used to work in a kind of corporate 9 to 5 sort of job. And then that was kind of like, I started to look at it as in like, oh, everybody's wearing the same stuff. And I guess there's a piece of me that from nostalgia perspective is like, it misses my old life. I miss like what I used to do. I miss the fact that I used to put on a suit. And then there's a piece of me that is really, what is this? There's a piece of me that's like, well, that's not how it is anymore. Anyway, what's my point with all of this? I guess my point is that I keep making comparisons back to how things were, and the truth is that I'm trying to do something different, and therefore there is no comparison because it's different to what I used to do. So, I'm trying to think whether being like dressed like everyone else and kind of that dressed up suit look, is that something I miss, or do I feel good that I'm breaking away from everyone else? And the truth is, it doesn't really matter. Like, what I'm doing is different. If I need to be in a suit, then I'll be in a suit, but most of the time I don't need to be in a suit. So yeah, this all kind of sounds a bit trivial now I've kind of put it out, but my point, I guess, that I was trying to get to was that I keep making comparisons back to my old work, my old way of life, and that's not what I'm doing anymore, so perhaps the comparison is pointless. And I guess if I relate that forward, then like I make a comparison about being productive and being busy, and I keep thinking about like, oh, when I was in my last job I felt far more productive, like I was getting stuff done all the time, and I feel bad if I'm not constantly pushing projects out the door and winning more work. But I also think that perhaps I need to just step back and stop thinking like that, because that's not necessarily the way it works for me now. Like, I am still being productive. I have to-do lists that I'm getting through. Sure, I could be doing more, but who couldn't? But I'm still pushing projects out the door. I'm still, trying to get work. And I guess, yeah, I just need to probably stop making such a comparison to how things used to be. And I think the only reason I do that is because I've got no experience other than what I used to do. So that's natural to make that comparison. I think instead what I should be doing is perhaps making comparisons to myself, as in where I used to be when I started this business like 2 years ago and where I am now, and things like that, because that's probably more relevant. I think I've noticed that I'm actually more reflective when I'm out and away from the office, which is probably why I haven't shot a video in a while, because I haven't actually taken time away from this environment to actually think about things. So I think a note to myself is to actually get out a bit more, because it's a good time to kind of space and analyse and that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's, I think, all I've got on kind of this nostalgia. It's kind of been interesting. I think I've been looking retrospectively, both personal and business wise, and I guess that's a good thing to do occasionally, but no point in dwelling on the past, just got to keep moving forward, unless I invent a time machine overnight. So yeah, I think I'll leave that one for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.